What is up, family? It is Camp Talks MMA, and I'm here with my brother, the GOAT, the man, the myth, the legend, the GOAT himself, the king himself, CP, MMA 24-8. Put some respect on his name. When you're talking to Pete, you gotta respect him. There's only one way to do it. And shout out to Conor McGregor. He's returning against Max Holloway. Shout out to Bilal Muhammad and Gabriel Bonfim, because this is going to be a banger fight breakdown. CP, how you doing today? I hope you're doing amazing. Good to see you. It's been a long 8 days, but I'm so glad that we are back. A lot to talk about, a lot to recap, and a lot to get into. And we got the UFC White House card next week. And we got two special guests coming on. You feel me? I couldn't shut up. I couldn't shut up, but if that happens, that will be amazing, and I cannot wait. Shout out to both of them. Shout out to you, Pete. Much love, my brother.
Hey man, yeah, no, I agree. Doing good, can't complain. Deus é bom, meu irmão. But just another good day, and I was thinking about it today. I'm fucking pretty hyped for the card. I mean, regardless of how people feel about the politics or whatever, the White House card is gonna be here, whether you like it or not. So the way I look at it is that you might as well just enjoy it for what it is. And got some fucking bangers, O'Malley, Zahabi, Steve Garcia versus Diego Lopez. Alex Poatan Pereira versus Cyril Gane, Ilya Taporia, Justin Gaethje. I know I'm forgetting Michael Chandler, Mauricio Luffy. Bunch of bangers. Respectfully, I'm not too interested in the Kyle Dawkins first Bo Nickel fight, but that'll be there. And how could I forget Joshua Hokett versus Derek Lewis? A beautiful fight. Man, I can't wait for that one. I cannot wait for that one, man. Derek Lewis versus Josh Hokett at the White House. That shit's gonna be crazy. I'm just thinking about like the security personnel and shit. Like, they're gonna have shit on lockdown, bro. And apparently Sean said he's gonna pull up after he got banned. Sean Strickland. But yeah, no, man. And then this week we got a nice little Apex card, a couple nice little good fights and great main event. But yeah, man, great main event and pretty good fights throughout the card. Co-main event's kind of interesting. Edmund Shabazian versus Brendan Allen, because he's ranked number 4 fighting an unranked fighter. But it's not a discredit to Shabazian. He was ranked at one point, so he's on a 3-fight win streak with at least 2 knockouts and 1 decision. So he's been moving in the right direction, and I do feel like he's a very live dog for that fight. But anyways, man, how are you feeling about this card?
My brother Pete, first off, that was an amazing breakdown, and I love the way you just took the floor and you just, you ran with it. But my 2 fighters to watch, my key fighters, Cam Talks MMA key fighters to watch, fighters to keep an eye out for, is Ketlin Souza and Jalessa Chavez. Those will be the first 2 fights. They will both be fighting to start out the card. Definitely keep your eyes out on them. And then I know a lot of people are saying Brendan Allen versus Edmund Shabazian. That fight shouldn't happen, but you do got to give a lot of respect to Brendan Allen. Me personally, I'm giving a lot of respect to Brendan Allen for putting that top 5, top 6, top 4 ranking on the line to a unranked fighter. You're giving him one of the biggest opportunities of his career, of his life, and I have no choice but to respect that. And that fight is going to be a banger. He's on a 3-fight win streak. If he beats you, he'll be on a 4-fight win streak and a spot in the top 6. You know what I'm saying? So that fight has a lot at stake. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon Allen, me personally, I had for my Fight Day Eve post, I said fighters that are 1 or 2 steps away from the title, I was talking about you. So yes, I do think that you're about a step away from the title. Like, you're knocking on the door. Like, if you win this fight and then you go out there and go fight somebody like Joe Pyfer, Kyle Bahalio, Nasruddin Imavov, you're gonna be right there. So, you know what I'm saying. The world is open for Brandon Allen. But before I talk about this card, I did want to talk about last week's card. Song Yadong put on a crazy performance, and I had no idea. I would have never thought that Song Yadong was gonna get a submission over Davis.
You gotta put some respect, man. I told you.
Facts.
You told me Davidson wasn't on his level.
I did, and you right. Like you gotta listen, Pete. You gotta be like on a certain type of level to submit Deiveson Figueiredo, especially at this point in his career, because of how much experience Deiveson Figueiredo has. You know what I'm saying? Deiveson Figueiredo has been in wars with Brandon Moreno. He's fought fighters like Alex Perez. He's fought Umar Nurmagomedov, the new wave, and Montel Jackson. He's fought those people. Every single person you give him, he's fought him. Marlon Chito Vera, he's fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. So you submitting Deiveson Figueiredo at this point in his career, how elite is Song Yadong? How close was that fight against Sean O'Malley? How close is he to beating Umar Nurmagomedov? How does a fight with Corey Sandhagen go? How does a fight with Peter Yan go? A rematch, you know what I'm saying? How does a fight with Merab go? How does a fight with David Martinez go? How does a fight with Mario Bautista go? Like, it's so interesting. Like, what he just did, it was so impressive. Some other fighters on the card, Angela Hill at 41 years old, that was impressive. I actually had her losing the fight, so her winning the fight, not only did it impress me, her being out there putting that type of striking on a high level one championship fighter in I'm gonna butcher her name, in Xiao. Only 2 losses in her entire career. The way that Angela Hill just went out there, they try to say she's the female Dio Magni. I'm not really seeing it. The way Angela Hill just went out there, you got to put some respect on her name. And not only that, Angela Hill has legitimately fought every strawweight you could think of. You know what I'm saying? We talking about Amanda Lemos. You know what I'm saying? The list goes on. But like Angela Hill, we can't do that. Especially after a performance like that, she looked too good. Like she looked way too good. And another person from last week that impressed the hell out of me is Jacqueline O'Moore. Ooh-wee. And not only was it the submission, it was the dance move after Pete. She hit the love. You know what I'm saying? She hit the little teach me how to Dougie, you heard me? But yeah, that was a beautiful card. I love that card. You definitely give me your thoughts on this week's card and last week's card. Break it all down. Yes, sir. You know what to do.
Indeed. Yeah, no, I mean, it's good. Honestly, I think that was one of the best cards I've seen in a minute. I went, it was early as fuck for me. I went to bed at like, I don't even know. I went to bed at like 11 and woke up at 2. So I missed a couple of the first fights, but woke up, saw Jacqueline's submission. That was my lock of the week with High Guard MMA. Shout out, my boy, High Guard. That's the homie. Mayor Mao. But, first round submission. That was actually my exact pick on Tapology. I just saw that happening. I was looking at her record and what she had done. So it was a great performance by her. Sergey got back on the winning track. He looked great. 30-second knockout. It was beautiful. Alonzo Menafield showing that he ain't nobody to be played with. He's going to hold his own in the rankings. And, that was a great knockout by him, too. And, again, Song Yadong. And, like you mentioned, that Song Yadong versus O'Malley fight was close. The Peter Yan fight was very close as well. It was 29-28. And he was winning the second round, ended up losing, but that was a close fight. And, he has lost. He lost to Corey, too, which was TKO, but it was a cut on the eye. So, technically, it wasn't a real TKO, but, the doctor stopped it. But, he's always the thing about Song, if you look at it, like, he's lost to a lot of the guys at the top, but he's never not been competitive. You know what I mean? He's never gotten blown out the water by any of them. O'Malley was a close fight. Jan was a close fight, and he was very competitive with Sandhagen as well. So, I think it'll be interesting to see his next move just because bantamweight's been so booked up. But, yeah. This weekend, though, definitely a banger with Bilal and Bonfim in the main event. Bilal coming off 2 losses. JDM, that was a close fight, good fight. A lot of people thought that was a great fight, but he lost that fight. And then Ian Gary, his last fight, he lost that as well. So he's lost 2 in a row. He's closing in. I want to say he's 36, 37 now. So he's getting older. He's getting up there. He's on a losing streak. Bonfim's 28, I believe. Younger, 19-1, I want to say. Got a lot of finishes on his resume. So it'd be interesting, but always much love to Brazil, but I just think the experience will factor into this fight a lot with Bilal, and his pressure. Like I was saying earlier, Bonfim's only loss was a TKO loss to Nicholas Dalby, and he was winning that fight actually, but eventually Dalby just pressured him, got him in the clinch with some strikes, and was able to just finish him, tire him out, and TKO him. And Bilal's not necessarily a finisher on the regular basis, but I could very much see that happening. He's got great grappling too. I think Bilal's going to need to close the distance, get inside, use his takedowns, and try to keep control. But the one thing I will say is Bonfim's got some really good front chokes. He's got a great darce. He's got a good guillotine. So Bilal's got to be careful on not taking any bad shots and keeping his head on the outside. But yeah, I think my official pick on Tapology was Bilal TKO 4th round. But we'll see if that actually happens or not. But I'm gonna pick Bilal, but I also think he's getting up there in age, and this is a very close fight in my opinion. Very close. It's like almost like a 55-45 percentage, but I do favor Bilal to get it done, and if not, probably decision. Bonfim's very live for a submission. That's one thing I will say.
That was an amazing breakdown. Oh my gosh. Okay, but before I give my breakdown, I do want to say this. So Bonfim's loss against Nicholas Dalby, it does stand out to a lot of people, because basically a lot of people are looking at it like this, Pete. If Nicholas Dalby was to match up against Bilal Muhammad prime, you know what I'm saying, or Bilal Muhammad in his little run, you know what I'm saying, people are going to pick Bilal Muhammad 10 times out of 10, you know what I'm saying? Basically, I feel like that's what they're trying to get at. So they're basically saying Bonfim is not on the level of Bilal Muhammad. That's what everybody's saying, okay? Fair enough. There's only one way to find out. We'll find out Saturday night. If Bonfim can somehow get this win over Bilal Muhammad, it won't be easy. Bilal Muhammad is a very tricky opponent. He's a very game opponent, and he always shows up. And his last fight against Ian Gary was a lot closer than what a lot of people are putting it as. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people put it as, oh, Ian Gary got the dub. Bilal Muhammad was trying his best to shoot him for takedowns. Ian Gary's just too tall. You know what I'm saying? He's too tall. He has the reach and the size to get away from you as you're trying to get into your groove of getting your takedowns. Bilal Muhammad, towards the end of the 3rd round and towards the end of the 2nd round, you can tell that he was starting to have a sense of urgency. So Bilal Muhammad knows in a fight, if he's losing, I need to get to where I want to get him. Bonfim is not on the level of Ian Gary, so I feel like Bilal Muhammad is gonna have. He's gonna play with his food a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna test him out a little bit. He's gonna feel him. He's gonna let Bonfim look good. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not gonna sit here and act like Bonfim hasn't looked good. His last KO over Randy Brown, it was pretty insane. They both went down. Bonfim got right back up because he was the one who landed the strike. You know what I'm saying? Randy Brown protested immediately, like whoever was saying it. It was either Brendan Fitzgerald or it was John Anik. It was either one of those two. But they were saying he was protesting immediately. Me personally, if you're asking my opinion, it was a TKO. I understand Randy Brown, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got caught as soon as you woke up, as soon as your body hit the canvas. You know what I'm saying? So if he would have came in, by the time you would have woken up, and you know what I'm saying, it would have pretty much been over. So Bonfim gets that TKO.
Yeah. Plus, if you not to cut you off, but if you watch the replay, his eyes rolled back in the back of his head, so you could just tell he was out of it. At first, I remember watching that fight because I picked Randy Brown, and I was like, "Fuck, that was an early stoppage." And then I rewatched it. I'm like, "Oh no, he was done. It was over."
He woke up as soon as his body hit the canvas, he up. But one thing I will say, and I'm not gonna ignore it because I know there's probably other people that is talking about it and looking at it too, is they want Bonfim to be a star no matter what. Whether you like it, you dislike it, you hate it, you don't care about it, it doesn't matter. The UFC is trying to push out another star. You know what I'm saying? The welterweight is so crowded. We got unranked fighters like Joel Alvarez, who just came off a tough loss against Yarmasov Almasov. Does Joel Alvarez suck? Absolutely not. He's still elite, but just how good is Almasov? You know what I'm saying? Top 10 fighter. Bonfim's ranked right just under him. You know what I'm saying? Back-to-back main events. They don't just put you in back-to-back main events without trying to gain something from you. You know what I'm saying? So if he beats Belal Muhammad, he'll have a win over a former champion. He'll be in the top 5, top 6. You know what I'm saying? However you want to put it. He'll have 20 professional wins with only 1 loss against Nicholas Darby. But also, I do want to say this. If he does get the win over Belal Muhammad, it will make that Nicholas Darby loss just look like a early career mistake. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fighters have that loss. I can name some for you to like help you out. Mateus Gamrot, Armin Sarukian, Max Holloway. Like, there's just certain fighters, when they get to the UFC, they just make that mistake. Ayman Zahabi, like, when they just first get there, they just have Merab Dvalishvili. When they first get there, they just have their little mistakes, and then they just go on their runs. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like what we could be getting at here. So with Bonfim, you know what I'm saying? That lost to Nicholas Darby, he goes on this crazy generational run. You never know what could happen with Bonfim. The sky is the limit, and I did want to put a lot of light on that. You know what I'm saying? Also, Belal's getting older. This could be a sacrificial lamb. Belal's on the way out. Bonfim's on the way up. You never know. You know how the UFC operates. You know what I'm saying? If you're a fan, casual, you just know that's just common sense. Belal Muhammad's older. Bonfim only has 1 loss. You know what I'm saying? Belal Muhammad had that early struggle, and then he went on like a 11-fight win streak. It just happens. But with all of that being said, I just want to talk about that. With all that being said, I am still going to ride with Belal Muhammad because I feel like he does have the experience, a way more experience, but Bonfim does have a lot of professional fights. He has 20 professional fights right on the dot. This is going to be his 21st professional fight. He knows what it feels like to fight in a main event. He just did it his last fight. He's coming back in that same atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Belal Muhammad's last fight was in like Abu Dhabi or something with Armin Sarukian and Dan Hooker on the top of the card. You know what I'm saying? So Belal Muhammad's going from that crowd back to this little atmosphere. So I think Belal Muhammad's going to be a lot more locked in. Doesn't have to deal with all the extra stuff. He doesn't have to deal with Ian Gary showing up to his face while he's eating breakfast and stuff like that. So it's just going to be a fight, strictly business. And I think Belal Muhammad's going to come in here. He's going to get the win, and he's going to remind the world, remember the name, Belal Muhammad. And I hate that I have to go against Brazil. Me personally, I'm going to break it down real quick, Pete. I'm going to give you the floor right back. But Bonfim got a win over Randy Brown, who was unranked, right? So they put him right into the top 15. No problem. That's cool. You can beat 15, 14 if you beat Randy Brown, even 13, okay? I'll give you that. But you haven't fought since Randy Brown, and they just been pushing you up the rankings. You know what I'm saying? They had you at 10 at one point. They moved you right back down to 11th after Almasov just got his win over Joel Alvarez. They moved him above you. So now you're ranked 11th. You have no ranked wins other than Wonderboy, who is no longer ranked anymore. So what is happening here, I feel like the UFC is just pushing you a little bit too fast. A perfect fight for you right here, and I know it would be prospect versus prospect, would be Islam Dulatov. Islam Dulatov, he's 170 or he's 185? I'm tripping. He's 170? So Islam Dulatov, that would be a perfect fight. Who do we push forward? You know what I'm saying? And then winner can fight like MVP or something like that. To like, you know what I'm saying? To like try to, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know. I just feel like they're just trying to push Bonfim way a little too early. That's just how I feel. But with all of that being said, I have to go with Belal Muhammad to get this done. And I think he will win by unanimous decision. If not unanimous decision, I'll probably see like a 4th or 5th round TKO. But I am riding with unanimous decision. I got Belal by 50-44. I feel like he'll be too much for Bonfim. Like Bonfim hasn't fought somebody like Belal Muhammad, and it's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna kind of like be like the Aljamain versus Yusuf Zalal. That's kind of like what I'm seeing here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm seeing. But yeah, that's
exactly kind of how I was thinking of it too.
Right, exactly.
People kind of forgot, 2 former champs. Might have lost a fight or two, but shit, they ain't done.
Facts. that's how I felt about Davidson Figueiredo. I feel like a lot of people still forgot, but like it depends on who he fights next. But I feel like still, even after that loss, I feel like Davidson Figueiredo has at least one more performance for us. You know what I'm saying? At least one. You know what I'm saying? To where he goes out there and we're like, oh, we forgot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think he does have one more. But I think Bonfim, he's just not ready. You know what I'm saying? They've done it to us all year. They did it to us last year. They're just trying to push fighters too early. They just did it with Chris Duncan and Renato Moicano. I feel like they could have just slowed Chris Duncan down just a little bit, because now the way that MMA fans work, I was just talking about it when I was on Todd's show. The way MMA fans work, once you lose a fight or two, you know what I'm saying, they just start to move on. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's just the reality. Like, who's talking about Chris Duncan right now? Nobody. That's just the reality. But Renato Moicano, his name is floating. You know what I'm saying? He can fight Quillen Sidekick. You know what I'm saying? He can fight Dan Hooker. You know what I'm saying? It's fights for Renato Moicano. But like as of right now, people aren't really worried about Chris Duncan. You know what I'm saying? But if they would have protected him a little bit, same thing with Esteban Ribovic, lost to Mateus Gamrot. You know what I'm saying? People aren't really worried about Esteban Ribovic, and same thing. I mean, Ludovic Klein, he's coming off of a win, but he also lost to Mateus Gamrot. But yeah, I did want to put that out there. But moving on to Brandon Allen versus Edmund, I'm gonna butcher the last name, Shabazian. That I think that fight would be a sleeper. I feel like a lot of people are just leaning towards Brandon Allen, but I feel like Brandon Allen, this is a fight where you can potentially get rocked. You know what I'm saying? It's potential. Like it's up in the air. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those risky fights to where it's like you put your ranking on the line, and I can make the biggest mistake of my career. You know what I'm saying? But you can do the homework. You know what I'm saying? You can do the homework because you wanted to fight DDP. You wanted to fight other people. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to fight somebody above you or right under you, ranked. You know what I'm saying? Like an Israel Adesanya, something like that. This is going to be a tough fight, and I just don't want him to take his feet off the gas thinking this is going to be something easy. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Edmund, he can be in the top 15, especially in that middleweight division. I think he can. He can be 15 or 14. That's me personally, though, especially with his last couple wins, especially his last performance. If he's just going off of his last performance, and then on top of that, he has 2 more wins right under that last performance. So it's like, me personally, I think he should be ranked. The UFC is giving him a jump. You know what I'm saying? But I think this fight will be pretty close. But if anything, Brandon Allen can win this fight by finish. Either finish. I'm talking about submission or TKO. It could be one of those fights, but it could also be one of those fights to where it's like, am I blind? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But with all of that being said, I'm gonna let you pick first. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you pick first.
You're gonna let me pick first? I mean, honestly, I've been feeling it all week. It's just, I could be very wrong because it's a bold pick, but I think Edmund Shabazian's gonna go out there and finish him. I know that sounds crazy, but
Wow.
I'm
sorry to cut you off. Wow.
I had this feeling that it could happen.
Wow. But like, well, that's crazy, Pete. Wow.
But I think it's gonna have to be
thought you would pick Brandon Allen.
Early TKO finish if he's gonna win, but
wow.
that was my pick. I picked him to win by TKO. I just feel like it could be a trap fight for Brandon Allen. He's been a little inconsistent. He got finished by Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland, so he's been TKO'd before. He's been dropped before. You know, one interesting fact is they both have fought 2 of the elite fighters in the division, Anthony Hernandez and Nasruddin Imavov. They're both 0-2 against them. They both lost, so I do find that kind of interesting. But I don't know. I'm not super confident in this pick, but I have a good feeling that he could go out there and finish him. Allen's not a crazy wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He showed some good wrestling against RDR, but RDR was also gassed at that point. Shabazian, his takedown defense is not the best, but it's not bad. It's getting better. But his finishing ability is really, really good, so that's why I think he can win this fight. But, Brendan Allen's got great submissions as well. He's got really good jiu-jitsu and grappling, so I think it's probably either going to be an Edmund Shabazian knockout or Brendan Allen Brendan Allen submission. That's probably how it'll go. But personally, I'm going to say Edmund Shabazian first round KO or second round KO. Maybe TKO KO. I'm not sure which the exact method, but it'll be one or the other.
And you got me with my hand on my head like I got waves. You heard me? You got me, you got me with my hand on my head like I got waves. Cause I'm like, yo, Pete crazy, but he not crazy because I honestly think the same thing, but I don't. That's why I wanted him to go first because I honestly wanted to know where his head was before I just blindly picked Brandon Allen. I'm still riding with Brandon Allen, but I'm glad I heard what you picked because I do agree with you. I can see a world where that happening to where for the next 4 to 5 days or the next 2 to 3 days or the next day, we talk about Edmund Shabazian because the White House card is coming up. Right before a big event, I can see a heartbreak fight happening. This is definitely one of the cards where that's going to happen, no matter what. Every single time you have a big, like a huge card coming up, it's one of those heartbreak fights. Brandon Allen is right there. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Sean Brady. They was both right there. You know what I'm saying? Sean Brady put his ranking on the line to Michael Morales. Now Michael Morales is potentially, and I said that with a lot of emphasis, potentially. And the reason why I said potentially is because this is my opinion. I think Michael Morales should be next. I feel like he gives the toughest threat to Islam Makhachev. We are off topic, and Pete, I want you to tell me that if you agree or you disagree. I feel like Michael Morales can TKO Islam Makhachev. I really feel like he can, and I feel like he can do it way more devastating than Ian Machado Gary can, and I don't even think Ian Machado Gary can beat Islam. I feel like once Islam figures out Ian Machado Gary, he'll beat him. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he can get you taken down. Islam's the type of dude to just put bloody elbows in your face. You know what I'm saying? Especially, he's at 170 now, so he's a lot heavier. You know what I'm saying? He's not a little body anymore. He's a bigger body. You know what I'm saying? So he's the same. He's dang near the same size as you, but smaller than you. But he has more strength than you. I feel like he's stronger than Ian Gary. That's just my opinion. I feel like Islam Makhachev is stronger than Ian Gary. But I feel like even though Ian Gary got the win over Carlos Prates, I feel like Carlos Prates has a scarier matchup for Islam. You know what I'm saying? A more dangerous striker that will actually keep the range, because I feel like Ian Gary, Bilal Muhammad had opportunities to take Ian Gary down because he did it like 7 times. He didn't get the opportunity to get to it because I feel like I don't know what it was, but I feel like Bilal could have landed a takedown. I don't know. I feel like the pressure was just too high for Bilal or something. I don't know, but I feel like he could have landed a takedown because there's no way Ian Gary's takedown defense is that good. I don't know. I don't know. Even though he did that against Bilal Muhammad, I'm not seeing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not seeing it. I don't know. It's just I think it's the way that Michael Morales is leaning down. If he does that against Islam, there's no takedown threat, so you have to stand with him. You're gonna stand with that 6'3" demon. I don't know. You tell me. I think Michael Morales can be the 170 champ if they match that fight up, and all because Sean Brady decided to put his ranking on the line. All of that to sum it up. If Brandon Allen puts his ring on the line and he fails to get this W against Edmund Shabazi, he can break the hearts of many. But with all of that being said, my pick is going to be Brandon Allen. I think he has the experience, and I feel like he does have the edge over Edmund here. And also, I feel like he's taking this fight to show the rest of the division, I'm going to fight somebody that's not in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? So you have to respect me. If I go out here and I TKO him, y'all have to respect me. I just beat a dude who's not in the rankings. Now I'm on like a 3-fight win streak. You have to give me like the top 1 contender, a top 3 contender next. So it's still a lot on the line. You know what I'm saying? And also, if this fight is close and Brandon Allen still gets the win, Edmund Shabazi can still get B-ranked. So it can be a win-win for both. So yeah, but with all of that being said, Pete, I am rolling with Brandon Allen to get the dub. But moving on to a lightweight bout, we got number 15th ranked Fares Ziam. He got the win over my guy Mike Davis. He lost to Terrence McKinney, but he's in the rankings. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Very, very. The only reason why I'm saying interesting is because we picking and choosing who we want to be ranked, but he's going against Tom Nolan. So basically what the UFC is saying, either you can be ranked 15th or it's going to be Tom Nolan. Tom Nolan 10-1. He's from Australia. He don't play no games. And I have a crazy story about Tom Nolan. So there's this content creator. He collects cards. His name is Lethal MMA. or Lethal 2.0 MMA. He told me a crazy story about Tom Nolan. So we was talking to DMs. We was talking about Tom Nolan rookie cards and stuff like that. And he told me that he actually knows Tom Nolan personally. And Lethal told me that he offered Tom Nolan a beer. And Tom Nolan told Lethal, I'm going to be in the UFC one day. I don't want that beer. And I'm going to keep it real. That's impossible not to ignore because that's beautiful. Discipline. You know what I'm saying? You said that you didn't want to take the buzz because I am going to go to the UFC. So that is impossible not to respect. Shout out to you. It takes a lot of discipline. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start drinking, it's very, very hard to stop. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all my recoverers out there. You know what I'm saying? Much love and respect always. But yes, you know what I'm saying? 1,000%. You know what I'm saying, Pete? 1,000%. It can go there. You know what I'm saying? This could be one of those fights to where far as Zion, you know what I'm saying? He makes that mistake against a dude who dedicated his life to going to the UFC. It's going to be tough. But I see that's the thing. I love your story, Tom Nolan. I love your story, but I can't fall for your story right now. Your story going to hit different with me looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I got to go with Faraz Ziam. He's ranked. He has the more experienced fights. He's been knocked out before, so he knows what it feels like to be finished. So he can either play it safe in this fight. He can play this fight however he wants to play. He can play with his food a little bit because that's what Faraz Ziam likes to do a little bit. He likes to play with his food now. He'll play your game, but once your game's not working, we're going to play his game. Faraz Ziam is very smart. You know what I'm saying? A very smart fighter, very skilled fighter. I think he will get this win over Tom Nolan, and I think he will show Tom Nolan levels. Much respect to Tom Nolan, though. I love that story, but I think Faraz Ziam will show you levels.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That is respect, honestly. I like that story. But, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. It's definitely two big-ass lightweights, but I don't know. I think I agree. I think Ziam's got just has the momentum. He's won like 6 in a row. You know, beat Mike Davis. He beat, who else did he beat on that win streak? Nazim Sadikov in his last fight. Knocked out Matt Frivola. He's got some good wins right now. So, and his grappling has improved a lot. I mean, I know you said he got submitted against Terrence McKinney, which is true, but that was also like 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago, I want to say. So it was a long time ago. You know, he's improved a lot. He's been training with Gaethje too in Colorado, and I know he trains all over. But I don't know. He's good, bro. He's got really fucking devastating striking in the clinch. But I mean, Tom Nolan's a savage too. They're both finishers. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like with the momentum and experience in the UFC, you gotta favor Faraz Ziam, and that's who I'm picking. Probably by decision, maybe by a finish, but I don't know. Tom Nolan's a savage too. I mean, he did lose his UFC debut to Nicholas Mata, who, shout out, he's a savage too. Much respect. Hit him with the fucking elbow, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think Ziam's gonna win this fight, and I don't know, I just think the UFC's lightweight disrespecting him by just constantly giving him, like, guys that are outside of the rankings but are super hard matchups. Like Sadikov, his last fight, hard-ass fight for someone out of the rankings, and now he's fighting Tom Nolan, another guy out of the rankings who's a fucking savage, and he's probably going to beat a lot of guys out of the rankings, but I don't know, it's just a tough fight. But you know, I could see Tom Nolan winning too. I can't even lie. I could see him winning this fight. It's hard to make a prediction just because it's such a close fight. But you know, I'm gonna pick Faraz Ziam to win. But it's hard to say it would be a finish. That's for sure. It's hard to say that. But yeah, I don't know what you think.
Me, I think it'll be a decision, but if he does finish Tom Nolan's stock will take such a big hit, and I just feel like Tom Nolan's too tough. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's the type of fighter to where it's like you're really gonna have to take him out. And does Faraz Ziam have that in him to take out somebody like Tom Nolan? That is the question. That is the question of that fight. Does Faraz Ziam have the savage in him enough to finish somebody like Tom Nolan, because Tom Nolan is going to be a tough finish. But there's also a lot of people out here that think that Tom Nolan will get this win, and they're 100% sold that he'll get the win. They're not worried about the odds. Tom Nolan is their guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And I see, the thing is, I don't disagree with those people. I feel like those people have 100% liable facts to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Tom Nolan has only lost one time, and he's never been finished. You know what I'm saying? So technically, he should win this fight. You know what I'm saying? Technically speaking, he's never been finished. 10-1. He should be the favorite. You know what I'm saying? Technically. But this is the UFC. There's levels to this game, and I think Faraz Diam will show him levels, like I did just say. And I think it will be a unanimous decision. But if Tom Nolan is extremely scrappy, it will go to split. That's the thing. I know I say it's a lot of splits because splits are a very possible thing. You know what I'm saying? If there are two fighters that can... It's a possible thing. If there's two fighters
That's
that
possible,
are...
but...
It's up to the
as
judge.
possible as the amount you predict them to happen.
You
But
right, on God. I be thinking it's gonna be a split every card. On God, I be thinking it's gonna be a split every card. I mean, because no, the reason why I say split is because I'm giving respect to
feel
the
it,
other
though.
fighter. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving respect to the other fighter because I feel like
Yeah.
no. The
I just
reason
think
why
with Tom Nolan, I think
yeah.
he's only lost once and he got finished. And I think Ziam, most of his losses are when he got finished too. And they're both... Nolan's much more of a finisher than Ziam, but they both finish fights. But I don't know. I think, shit, Tom Nolan could go out there and finish him. I can't even lie. Like, this is one of those fights where it's just like, you know how it is on, like, Instagram and fucking people online with MMA community. Like, everyone swings so heavy with one fight where it's like, oh, Ziam, you know. And trust me, again, I'm picking him, but... You know, it could be one of those fights where Tom Nolan just shuts people up. I mean, like you said, he's got a lot of discipline. So, and he's young. He's like 26 and 10-1. I want to say. I have to look up his exact Tapology record, but he's got a lot of finishes on his record. Like, I want to say I don't know if he has 100% finish rate, but he's got close to it, if I'm not mistaken.
I did also want to clear something up. I said he's never been finished. I was wrong. I meant to say I didn't mean to say, but like to clear up what I was saying was he never been submitted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he only got TKO'd once, and that was his first UFC.
He has been finished, but he's never been submitted. You know what I'm saying? He's never been submitted in 11 fights. 11 pro fights, has not been submitted one time. So yeah, that's
he's
what
got
I meant to say.
6 finishes and 4 decisions.
Yes, yep. And his last fight was a submission victory, and that was his first submission victory too. So his last fight was a...
Charlie Campbell's a good opponent too. That's a good one.
I agree. Especially if you're getting a submission over him too. If you finishing him, you know what I'm saying.
And you look at Ziam's got 6 KOs, 5 submissions, and 7 decisions, but all of it, he has 3 submission losses and one decision loss. So he's never been TKO'd, but he has been submitted 3 times. You know what's interesting too is every time he's been submitted was a rear naked choke.
That's interesting. So you would think that he's practicing on not ever being submitted on by a rear naked choke again. So
yeah, and you know another interesting thing too is Tom Nolan's only submission is a rear naked choke. Just saying.
Shout out to weird MMA. That's a stat he posted.
What he posted that?
Nah, he wouldn't, but I'm saying that's something he would.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he posted.
I don't know if I know who that is, but that sounds familiar.
I think you do. He's had a couple viral posts. Yeah, he's that dude who just like what you did. That's a weird MMA stat, and he posts his weird MMA stats. You know what I'm saying? So like you just
Random facts.
Yeah, random facts, like a fact. I can give you like a random fact in my head.
Bilal has 0 UFC knockdowns.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? Or let me. I'm trying to think of a unique one.
I believe Bryce Mitchell had the first Twister submission, or no, was it Korean Zombie? think it might
I
have
have a
been.
I have a potential weird stat.
But,
Andre Feely has the potential to be one of the greatest featherweight fighters statistically. Statistically, with like fight time,
and what's
significant stroke.
that?
Huh? I mean,
And what's that?
okay. I got a weird MMA stat. Statistically, Jim Miller is one of the greatest fighters of all time. No, the reason why I said no, because technically, Pete, you looked at me like I was crazy, but I'm not crazy. Because y'all can clip
He
this
has
up
the
and y'all can
most
post it
wins,
wherever
but he
y'all
also
want.
has some of the most fights.
No. But listen though, Andre Feely does have the potential to be one of the statistically best featherweight fighters of all time because of how many fights he has, and also he still has a lot of fights left. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight coming up against Vinicius Oliveira, and he just fought against Jose Del Miguel Delgado. In the fight before that, he just fought towards the end of 2025 against Christian Rodriguez. So the stats are just going to keep building. The fight time is just going to keep adding up. And he's only 34, 35, 36. You know what I'm saying? So I assume he's going to go to like 39, 40, 38. You know what I'm saying? So he got about, what'd you say, five to six more fights? It's a lot of stats to be
He's got to
put up.
win, though. He's got to
You
win.
do, yes. Facts. I mean, the last two fights have been splits. One win, one loss.
True. I will admit
Both
that
splits.
he's
Both
having
splits.
close fights.
He's having
And
very close fights. Very close fights, because the reason why I'm going to say very close fights is because I thought he won his last fight. So I'm going to just say very close fights. So
But-
that's just my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I do think he won that fight. But moving on to Bryce Mitchell versus, I'm not butchering
Santiago
that name.
Luna.
Santiago Luna. There we go. I was not going to butcher that name. Santiago Luna. That fight's going to be a banger. Pete, I already know who you're going with, so I'm going to go ahead and go first. Pete, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you, brother. I think, but before I even talk about the fight, this is a fight that I love, Pete, because both fighters need to make a statement. Santiago, he's undefeated, and he wants to show, if I beat Bryce Mitchell, okay, you feel me? Y'all gotta watch now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can look and y'all can talk, but y'all gotta watch now. You know what I'm saying? But now y'all have to watch and talk. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can look and talk, but now y'all have to watch and talk because I just beat Bryce Mitchell. Okay, but Bryce Mitchell, though, the UFC's been trying to embarrass this man, do whatever they can to this man. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell does his things. Do what he does. And what I mean by embarrass him is nothing easy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by embarrass. Not publicly embarrass this man. Oh, this man, this man, that. No, not that type of embarrass. What I mean by embarrass is nothing easy. Bryce Mitchell ain't getting nothing easy. They giving everything tough to Bryce Mitchell. Nothing is going to be easy for Bryce Mitchell here, especially with all of that talking he does. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get no easy layups. The UFC is not going to give you no highlights. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say? No highlights for Bryce Mitchell. You're getting all game opponents. You know what I'm saying? You're getting the Vinicius Oliveira's and stuff like that. You're getting those dangerous scrappy, but you're getting the Santiago Lunas. You know what I'm saying? Dangerous fight. His last fight was crazy. He got the dub his last fight. So you're coming in here. You got to get the win. Me personally, I got to go with Bryce Mitchell here. He has to make a statement and he has to get a win. And I feel like this is the perfect fighter to do that against. You know what I'm saying? Undefeated fighter, not as much experience as you. Bryce Mitchell, you was on The Ultimate Fighter years ago. He watched you. You know what I'm saying? So you can't let a fighter that grew up watching you take that spotlight from you. You can't give him the opportunity to build a name off of you, Bryce Mitchell. If he beats you, Bryce Mitchell, he can live like the king for the next couple months. You know what I'm saying? Next 3 months, he'll be undefeated with a win over you. You know what I'm saying? So they have to watch and talk. It's not no more looking and talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, him. You know what I'm saying? No, they. You know what I'm saying? They gotta watch and talk. So this is gonna be a very banger fight. But me personally, Pete, I'm riding with Bryce Mitchell by unanimous decision. And his last fight against Saeed Nurmagomedov was a banger. And a lot of people had him losing that fight. He beat all the odds. When all the odds was against Bryce Mitchell, what did he do? That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, my pick is gonna be Bryce Mitchell. I got him by unanimous decision, 29-28. All judges.
You're going Bryce Mitchell, UD, no Haslam.
I like that, Pete. I fuck with that.
Only real ones.
I'll give that a 10 out of 10. I'll give that a 10 out of 10.
UD
10 out of 10,
no
must try
Haslam.
again.
Real shit though, but man, I get the Bryce pick, and trust me, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, but I think coming in on short notice, he's got a lot of momentum. And I think the main thing is that he's a really good wrestler. That's why I like his chances in this fight. Really good wrestler. So if he's able to keep it on the feet, I mean, Bryce is underrated with the striking. I will admit that. He's got underrated striking. But Luna's boxing is fucking good, bro. He's got Jason Perillo coaching him up, too. You know, he's a former boxer. That's Bisping, Cheeto's coach, Mackenzie Dern. He's a good-ass boxing coach and just MMA coach, too, in general. So, you know, I like his team and his momentum. And I think he trains with Entram, too, in Tijuana. But, you know, I think he's young. He's 21, coming in on short notice, too. Bryce was supposed to fight Victor Henry, I think. Yeah, Victor Henry. So it's a different matchup. So it's a different style. And, you know, Bryce looked like he had a tough weight cut. And I like Bryce. I'm not hating. I know a lot of people don't like him. And fair enough. Everyone has their reasons. But, you know, to me, he actually seems like a really nice guy and whatever. But he's a silly little guy sometimes with his commentary. But, you know, he means the best. But, you know, I think Santiago can go out and win this fight, but I do see why people favor Bryce. You know, it's only 3 losses in his career. He lost on the Ultimate Fighter technically, but professionally he's only lost to Poirier, Josh Emmett, and Gene Silva, I believe. I mean, all savages. So, you know, it's not like he's lost to anyone who's, you know, a chump or anything like that. He's not losing.
And I also want to say he was featured on the Ultimate Fighter undefeated season. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, I think he lost to Brad Katona, funny enough, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, I remember DC was saying that he made him like DC was his coach when he fought against Stipe, I'm pretty sure, and Bryce like made him like a, what was it, like he made him something like a stick, a walking, something funny. But he was just saying that DC was saying he was a nice kid even back then. But Bryce is still pretty young. He's 31. He's not like super old or anything. But I don't know. It's probably Bryce Mitchell decision or Santiago decision. I don't think Bryce would get finished, but I do think Santiago can grit out a win, a decision. And I don't know, though. It is a tough fight to pick. I think this is one of the most like coin flip fights on the card, in my opinion. And if you look at the odds too, they're pretty close. Odds are close. Bryce is not like a crazy favorite or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I'll admit, like Bryce is probably the smarter pick just in terms of experience. But I think Santiago will go out and prove people wrong for sure. I'd like to see him do it. So I'd say 29-28 for him to win by decision. And another thing, like I mentioned, Bryce's weight cut didn't look good. And he got dropped against Saeed too. So it does make me wonder if his chin is a little suspect, you know, at 135, cutting a lot of weight. Because he wasn't a small 145er, you know, he wasn't big, but he wasn't small either. Now, I think he's a pretty big bantamweight. He's good size for sure at a bantamweight, so yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see it. We'll see what happens. May the best man win.
A beautiful breakdown, Pete, and I think that this fight is going to be a bringer. Coin flip fight on the odds, you know what I'm saying? Basically a pick 'em, you know what I'm saying? Basically, who do you think has the edge? Me personally, I'm riding with Bryce Mitchell. CP is going to be riding with Santiago Luna. Moving on, we got a banger fight with the light heavyweights. We got Iwo Baranuski, 8-0, taking on 7-5 Junior Tafa. That fight is going to be a banger. I don't care what you say. I don't care how you put it. I don't care how you break it down. Any fight that has those 3 letters, Iwo, is going to be a banger fight. I don't care who's on the receiving end. I don't care who's on the other end. Iwo Baranuski is tough. Iwo Baranuski is must-watch TV. Iwo Baranuski is Camp Talks MMA approved. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about prospects on this page, I like to fade them a lot. You know what I'm saying? CP probably noticed that. You know what I'm saying? I don't gravitate towards the prospects. The prospects have to grow on me. Well, I can give you a prime example. Quillin Sal Kid. His last fight was the fight that I'm on that Quillin Sal Kid hype train now. Iwo Baranuski. Boy, oh boy, I love watching you fight, and I love how active you are. I'm an Iwo Baranuski fan. Cam Talks MMA is on that Iwo Baranuski hype train. I don't care. Iwo can fight. But listen, this is my thing, though, Iwo. You're taking on Junior Taffa. Junior Taffa, he that slick fighter. He's that fighter that's either gonna fraud check you or you're gonna beat the bricks off of him. You know what I'm saying? This fight was supposed to be Billy Elakana. Billy Elakana is a banger matchup for anybody. Billy Elakana is so good at fighting. I love Billy Elakana's fighting style, and I don't care what nobody say. We can get up on here and we can talk about Billy Elakana. You know what I'm saying? That's how much I love Billy Elakana. Like, he got some striking, and he has some solid BJJ. He has some solid grappling. He has some solid submission skills. Billy Elakana versus Iwo Baranuski. That fight has to happen next. Do not give anybody. If he beats Junior Taffa, please give him Billy Elakana, because Billy Elakana beat him. You know what I'm saying? So Billy Elakana, ooh, that's such a good fight. Ooh, that's such a good fight, because if Iwo beats Billy Elakana, then we'll know, okay, now we can give Iwo that next step. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if you disagree. But with all of that being said, I'm not going to break down this fight too much. I didn't said it like 30,000 times. My pick is Iwo Baranuski. But I do want to see him fight Billy Elakana. I feel like that's a better matchup, because it forces him to show his skills. You know what I'm saying? Because Billy Elakana's he's not no easy out. But yeah, you give me your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I think Iwo is, I mean, it's another one of those fights, though. If I'm just being honest, I think Iwo is going to win for sure, but I think he's kind of fallen in love with the knockout. You got to be careful on the feet with Junior Taffa, because he's a former kickboxer, Glory Kickboxing. He's got a lot of knockout power, too. His last fight was a really crazy knockout, so I think you just got to be careful with that, because Barneski is actually a judo player, if I'm not mistaken. That's his background. So he's got a judo background and a grappling base. He's got really good grappling. He's been knocking people the fuck out, so he hasn't even had to use his grappling. But I think it's very possible he could put Taffa on his back early and just, finish him from the top, or even get a submission potentially, because that's the thing about Taffa, is if you give him a chance to stand with you, he has a chance in the fight, but if you just take him down, it's MMA. Most of the time he can't stop the takedown, and most of the time he can't get up. So we'll see. But I definitely think Iwo is going to take this fight, and like you said, I think he should take this fight. He'll win most likely. I have first round TKO or KO, either or, for Iwo. But I think they do need to remake the Billy Elakana fight. And honestly, think about it. Okay, he's Polish, obviously. Serbia's not Poland, of course, but they're both in Europe. I think put him on the Serbia card against Elakana. I think that makes sense, especially if he comes out unscathed. Like you said, he's active. That's in August, so he's got a little bit of time. Maybe it'll be too quick of a turnaround, but I mean, if he gets a quick finish, fuck, why not? The whole Poland MMA, shout out Poland MMA and Elite MMA, but everyone's behind him. And yeah, I think they should remake that matchup for sure, because I don't think they should push him. I think he's 8-0 right now, 100% finish rate. He's got 6 knockouts, 2 submissions, so might as well just slowly push him up the ladder, give him Elakana. If he beats Elakana, maybe give him like a Adolfo Vieira or something like that, just slowly move him up, and then eventually, just keep moving him up the ladder. And Adolfo Vieira is a middleweight, I'm tripping. But there's some other light heavyweights that they could definitely give him. But yeah, no, I think he's going to win this fight, no doubt. First round KO is my prediction for him. And Junior Taffa might have to start looking at doing some karate combat or something, because 7-6 is not really UFC worthy, with all due respect.
Beautiful breakdown, my brother. That was amazing. Shout out to Iwo Baranuski. Well, we are very excited to see
Poland's next prospect.
Yes, sir. Very excited to see you put those skills to the test this weekend. Technically tonight, because we're making this Saturday morning. Moving on, Matt Schnell, 17-10, taking on 15-5, Alessandre short notice Costa. You like how I put that in there? Alessandre short notice Costa.
Calling him short.
Because if y'all don't know, Alessandre Costa just fought on a recent Apex card and just got the win by TKO.
It's Stuart Little.
Yes, sir. And that was a phenomenal performance and a phenomenal fight. That was a good fight also.
Body shot TKO.
He's making a short notice fight against Matt Schnell, and I think that this fight is going to be a good fight also. I think Matt Schnell might have a couple moments, but I'm going to keep this one short and simple. I think Alessandre Costa will get this one done. I think it will go. I think Matt Schnell's tough enough to take Costa to the distance, and they're flyweights. Keep that in mind. I think Matt Schnell's tough enough. I think he's durable enough to take Costa's hits. You know what I'm saying? Costa does have some devastating body shots. You know what I'm saying? You've seen in his last fight, those liver shots are no joke. But I think Matt Schnell's tough enough and durable enough to get through it all. And he has the experience to be in there with somebody like an Alexandre Costa, who's so explosive at flyweight, which is honestly kind of crazy if you break it down. Somebody shouldn't be that dangerous at flyweight, but Alexandre Costa is just that. But with all of that being said, my pick is going to be Alexandre Costa by unanimous decision. Yes, sir, B.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think, with all due respect to Matt Schnell, I mean, I know you said he's tough, and I'm not saying he's not tough, but if you look on his record, he's been knocked out quite a few times. I think, I don't know the exact number, I'd have to look it up, but, Steve Urseg got him, Pantoja knocked him out, Rob Font knocked him out, so he's been knocked out quite a few times. He's been knocked out 5 times, and I believe Costa, he's got 3 wins in the UFC, and they're all by knockout, if I'm not mistaken. I could fact check that real quick. But, like you mentioned, his last fight, that was a devastating TKO finish. And, yeah, so all of his UFC wins are TKOs. He knocked out Jimmy Flick, Kevin Borjas, and Stuart Nickel. And he lost to Amir Albazi, Steve Urseg as well. So those are 2 good fighters. But I just think it's the age thing, I don't know if you remember, Matt Schnell retired and then he came back, and he got finished against Joseph Morales in his last fight. Yeah, he did. And he beat Jimmy Flick, so he's had 1 win since he came back. But he's just he's got knocked out quite a few times in my opinion, and I don't know. I personally think it's going to be a 2nd round TKO. I think he'll be able to survive the 1st round, but I think in the 2nd round, Costa's going to get him. But, Schnell's a veteran. He's a dog. He's fought almost a lot of the top 5 and top 10, so he's definitely live to get it. But if he can't take him down, can't submit him, I don't really know what his path to victory is going to be.
Amazing breakdown. And one thing that I did want to say before we moving on, one fighter I want to see match up against both of these dudes in the future is Imanov Rodriguez. I think that'll really show us where he's at, because you got 2 tough flyweights. This fight will be at catchweight, but you got 2 tough flyweights that can really put that test to Imanov Rodriguez. But moving on to Marcus McGee versus John Yanis. John Yanis is also taking another short notice fight on this card. Shout out to all the short notice fighters, because they're making this card better and better as we speak. This fight is going to be a bantamweight bout. Marcus McGee versus John Yanis, making the quick turnaround. You know what I'm saying? He did just fight against Ricky Simon, and that fight, it was a draw. That fight was a draw. Close fight, you know what I'm saying? Beautiful fight. I enjoyed the fight. I think it was a good fight. And John Yanis versus Marcus McGee, a lot of people are just riding Marcus McGee off the rip. His last fight was against Piotr Jan, and he has to go against an unranked opponent here. Yeah, the matchmaking is a little off here, but John Yanis does deserve to be ranked at this point. He is pretty tough. He has very, very solid striking, Pete. I'm pretty sure you could agree with me on that. He has some solid striking. His striking is above the level to where he can be a top 15 fighter, in my opinion. I feel like John Yanez, he's deserved it. I feel like him being able to, honestly, that fight against Ricky Simone, it wasn't a draw. I think he won that fight. I feel like in his last fight, he showed that his striking is the level of a top 15 fighter. But with all of that being said, this is another one of those fights to where it's like, you don't want to pick, because I'm not one of those dudes who gets caught up in the odds. Like, I'll bet on somebody who's a plus 400 all day long, because I'm betting off of resumes. I'm betting off of who's the more skilled fighter. Uno momento. So, one second. So, a lot of people is riding with Marcus McGee. So this is my thing. So, Marcus McGee, right? Last fight was against Piotr Jan. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? Amazing performance. But a lot of, see, this is another thing. A lot of people aren't giving him the credit they were supposed to give him. You know what I'm saying? Because he put up a phenomenal performance against Piotr Jan, current bantamweight champion. Now he has to fight against an unranked opponent. But a lot of people also forget this quick that this wasn't his original opponent, Pete. His original opponent was Jacob, I don't know how to say his last name, but Wicklach, who's on like a 8-fight win streak, 9-fight win streak. He's 2-0 in the UFC, has a win over Patchy Mix, and then he has a submission to where he got it in the last second of the third round. So that's who you're supposed to be going against. So you're taking on Yanez in a short notice fight. A lot of people are just expecting you to get the dub. Honestly, it's tough because it's hard to just bet against Yanez, especially after his last performance. But I am going to have to ride with the community, and I'm going to go with Marcus McGee. I trust him to get it done, especially after his last fight. You can't go from former champion to an unranked opponent, especially you did solid against him, and I know you want to go back up. I know you don't want to go down. I know you just want to get this fight over with and just move on. So with all this being said, I am going to go with
Marcus McGee.
Yes, I am going to go with Marcus McGee.
Are you? You're going with Marcus?
Right. So Catlin, Levitt, Brito, Bruno, Silva. Gotcha.
Yeah, but I think
who you got for that fight?
I think it doesn't make any sense, to be honest, that they're making this fight. But I think it's a short notice. Was Marcus McGee supposed to fight someone else, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it was Jacob Wicklach.
Oh, okay, that's who it was. Okay, that fight makes way more sense. You know, it would have been interesting, but I think it's just because it's a short notice replacement. But I think John Giannis is like 10-4. It's not bad. It's not the best. It's like 1-1 in the UFC. Marcus literally fought the champ last time, Piotr Jan, and it was a good fight, honestly. Like, he had a good first round. He started decent, then he kind of got styled on in the end. But Marcus McGee ain't nobody to be played with. I mean, people forget he knocked out Ilya Taporia. I mean, Gaston Bolaños, but he looks like Ilya. But Marcus McGee, I think he's going to win this fight. Knockout, honestly. He's got a lot of finishes. He only has like one decision or something on his resume. So I think he'll go out there, finish the fight, and then honestly might as well remake the Wicklach fight. Or potentially, or maybe there's other matchups out there for him too, for sure. But, you know, even Marcus McGee versus Cheeto isn't a bad fight, in my opinion. I feel like that would be a good one.
That's a really good fight. I feel like they should make that fight in because it'll be on
a fight night or a pay-per-view for sure.
I was about to say
like a fight night in a crowd, you know.
I was about to say they could do that. They could do that in the Apex, low key, but like that fight in a crowd would be a little bit better. That could be an easy co-main. But if that fight was to go to Ecuador, they have to make that the main event. That would be a banger main event. I don't care what anybody says. Cheeto Vera versus Marcus McGee. Like, come on, yeah. Like, what are we talking about? It's a banger fight. I don't care. That's just my opinion, though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can completely disagree with me. Pete, you can disagree with me too. I feel like if they were to go to Ecuador, they can main event that, and then they can do something solid for the co-main. They can do like, I don't want to do like a super crazy fight next to it, but like they could do like a Brian Ortega versus Renato Moicano or something like that. You know what I'm saying? something like that. You know what I'm saying? Or like they could do a Brian Ortega versus
Isn't Michael Morales Ecuadorian?
he is, but he'd have to be the main event. That's why I didn't even say his name. You
Yeah,
know what
that's
I'm
why
saying? I want to give all the love to Cheeto.
I think
But
he
if they
would be the
did do
main
that,
event over Cheeto more than likely if he's
no,
not
yeah,
fighting.
it would 1000% be the main event. I think Carlos Prates, if they were to make a fight at this current moment, because Carlos Prates is not fighting for the title. They made that clear when they put the rankings out. He's not fighting next. It's going to be either Ian Gary or, in my opinion, Michael Morales. Okay, so y'all are just going to sit out for a very long time? Okay, cool, because Michael Morales, you haven't fought in a very long time, so technically you would want to fight Carlos Prates, right? Because he's above you. So if you beat him, you move up a spot. You know what I'm saying? Carlos Prates, if you beat Michael Morales, you're 1,000% fighting for the title next, no matter what. You could potentially, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Be the champ. So yeah. So.
But Shirez versus Bruno Silva. That's honestly a weird not a weird matchup, but it's a hard one to predict because Shirez is only 2 losses in the UFC are to Joshua Van and Tatsuro Taira. So he's fought elite competition already, and he's got a lot of submissions. He walks people down. But Bruno Silva, he was ranked for a minute, but he is 5-5 in the UFC. A lot of people thought he won that Charles Johnson fight, his last fight. It was a close, I think it was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken. It was a close fight. But, in his fight before that against Han Sung Park, I believe it is, he submitted him, if I'm not mistaken. So he's not to be played with, And funny enough, Bruno Silva also got TKO'd by Josh Van. So they both lost to Josh Van. And then Bruno Silva also lost to Manel Kape before that. So, he's losing to good people. He's on a 4-fight win streak before that. So he's legit. It's tough to pick because it's like Bruno has the UFC experience, but I don't know. Chirez's last fight was too close to call, but I think just with age and everything in between, I think I like Chirez to win this fight, either by decision or potentially submission. He's got a lot of submissions on his resume. I kind of forgot the exact number, but yeah, he does have quite a few submissions, and I don't know, but Bruno Silva hits fucking hard, bro. He knocks people out, and yeah, I mean, Chirez is a finisher, though. He's got only 1 decision win, 8 submissions, and 4 knockouts. So, yeah. Overall, I would pick Chirez either by submission and or decision. But, yeah, I think he'll win. Especially based off of age and momentum. Just going in different directions in their career. Even though I know Bruno lost his last fight. Yeah. Chirez won his last fight. And I think they're trying to get Chirez into the rankings,
Agreed, and I think I do agree with that too. I think they're trying to get him in the rankings too. Go ahead and give him Bruno Silva, who's number 15th, who's coming off of a very close fight against Charles Johnson. And technically speaking, if he would have won that fight, he would be fighting Asu Amabayev next, technically, because that's who Charles Johnson is fighting next. But let's break down this fight between Bruno, the dogs is barking, Silva, versus Edgar Chairez. So this is going to be a good fight, in my opinion. Flyweight. I always love me some flyweights. You know what I'm saying? They throw a lot of strikes, and they're some of the quickest strikers in all the MMA. You know what I'm saying? And all of the UFC also. You know what I'm saying? All the MMA, all of UFC. So I always love me a flyweight fight, especially Pantoja. I love watching me some Pantoja. But we got Bruno Silva, who's a flyweight that I respect a lot, and I think he's very good. That fight against Hungwei Sun Park, I knew he was going to win that fight. I picked him winning. I 100% had him winning because it's just the experience for me. It's an experience thing for me when it comes to Bruno Silva. That's one thing I always just love about Bruno Silva. Like, going forward, starting from the last fight he fought from Hungwei Park all the way to now, just Bruno Silva is just always going to be a tough opponent, but we also do have to put into the fact that Bruno Silva is getting older and older. He's not getting any younger. But Edgar Chairez, I don't feel like he's that type of fighter that can get the win over Bruno Silva, but he definitely has the potential to. You know what I'm saying? There's always a chance. You know what I'm saying? This MMA, this is a sport full of heartbreak, and this is a sport full of hard work and dedication. You know what I'm saying? So we can either get our hearts broken, or you know what I'm saying. Bruno Silva remains the king. You know what I'm saying? Remains ranked. At this point in Bruno Silva's career, fights like this, I cannot see him losing. Especially fights like this. If it was like 2 years ago, you know what I'm saying, like 4 years ago, and Edgar Chairez was on the come up and whatnot, then I'd be a little more 50-50. But you guys, at this point in Bruno Silva's career, he's built a foundation for being that fighter. You know what I'm saying? He just showed it in his last 2 fights, you know what I'm saying, that I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he will show it again tonight. So with all of that being said, I got to go with Bruno Silva. And much love and respect to Bruno Silva too, because he's been in a lot of wars, and he's been in some amazing fights inside the UFC. So much respect to Bruno Silva for sure.
Yeah, no, facts. That's a good one. I mean, I can't lie, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm not confident in my Chairez pick, if I'm being honest. I think it's a hard fight to predict, just because experience-wise, I think you know, Bruno Silva's got the experience. He's got 10 UFC fights, I believe, and Chairez only has 5. He's 3-2 compared to 5-5. I think Bruno actually has 11 because he has 1 no contest, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, I think yeah, that's a solid pick for sure, a solid pick. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anything, he's probably gonna get a finish if he does win. It's very possible, but yeah. And I mean, Chelsea Chandler versus Priscilla Cachoeira. It's not a bad one at all, to be honest with you. But I mean, neither of them have a great record. I think Chelsea Chandler is 6-4, and Priscilla Cachoeira is 13-8. So neither of them have a great record, but you know, I think Cachoeira could easily go out there and knock her out because she's got a lot of knockouts on her resume. And I also think Chandler doesn't have the best chin, and you know, she got knocked out first round in her last fight against Jocelyn Edwards, I believe. And then I don't know if you remember when she fought Norma Dumont, she fucking got hit and then ran head first into the cage. She sprinted into the cage, hit it. So I don't know, that's not a good look.
You know what's crazy? That's one of my favorite moments in UFC history. I just love how she just hit her and ran. I just love that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
You thought she was about to run out the cage. I don't know what the game plan was.
That was not the game plan. We gotta stick to the script, baby.
That motherfucker went out the window. There was no game plan.
She was running from a dog. You heard me? She was running from a dog. Oh god. No, she was literally running from a dog because Norma Dumont is a dog. That's a fact. Hey, if you know, you know. Hey.
Shout out Matulio. Shout out Norma Dumont.
But but yeah, no, big fact. Shout out, big shout out to Norma Dumont. That's the family, and big shout out to Tulio. That's the family too. But Chelsea, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't read, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I can't read.
Chelsea?
Yes. Chelsea Chandler versus Priscilla Cachoeira. I can't read, y'all.
Priscilla Cachoeira.
Priscilla Cachoeira. There we go. All right. So I am a big fan of Priscilla. I am. I do. I think she's tough, and I love that she trains with Amanda Nunes. So let's talk about this fight. I gotta give that respect to Chandler because that is my dog. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Michael. See you at the top.
Nah, big facts. I ain't gonna lie. Big facts. You heard me now? Big facts. I ain't gonna lie. When he said that shit hurt. That shit hit me. You heard me? That shit hit me. Oh, God. No, big facts. I fought with Michael Chandler. See, a lot of people don't give Michael Chandler the respect he deserves. But you gotta respect him for saying that. He said he gonna see you at the top. June 14th. Look it up. Look up Michael Chandler June 14th. You gonna see him at the top. But listen, though. Priscilla Cachoeira taking on Chelsea Chandler. That is going to be a good fight. But me personally, I'm sorry if you watching Chandler. I got to go with Priscilla. I love Brazil. I am Brazil. Somebody told me, Pete, if you look up Brazil, some black kid with some glasses is going to pop up. That's what somebody told me. I'm like, bro, if you don't get the fuck out of my DMs, bro. So, yeah, somebody told me that. They said if I look up a picture of Brazil, some black kid with glasses is going to show up. I'm like, yeah, you 2 seconds away from being blocked, but I love you though. But facts though, I gotta go with Priscilla. I feel like she's more experienced. She's a little bit more dominant. She has better stand up, but I will say Chandler has had some great performances inside the UFC Octagon. I'm not gonna take that away from her. 2022, she had a crazy performance. I know that was quite some years ago, but we'll never forget it. You know what I'm saying? Big facts. You build history when you walk into that octagon, and both of y'all are building history as y'all walk into that octagon.
Out of Stockton too.
That
Shout
part.
out to 219.
That part.
209, excuse me.
That part.
That's how you know it's getting fucking late.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it, brother. Tell me about it, brother. Tell me about it, brother. See, I'm still caught up on the fact that I met Corday. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to YB and Corday. That's crazy. I really used to bump him on the way to school, like me and YB and Corday. YB and Corday, if you watching, you are one of the most humble people ever. Like, you don't owe me anything. You are the best, my brother. Much love and respect, and I hope when you do get back on IG, you see the DM. Much love, my brother. I hope to work with you in the future, too. I fumbled an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? But you was very respectful. You was very nice. I love you. You're just an amazing dude. But back to the UFC, you know what I'm saying? Back to the UFC. I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah, But yeah, she from the 209. Yeah, she from the 209. But I gotta go with Priscilla, bro. I feel like Priscilla got the edge on her. But shout out to Chelsea. If she's watching, much love and respect. If you win this fight, that's gonna be even better because you got to prove me wrong. But me personally, I'm going with Priscilla. Cachoeira. That's gonna be my pick, Pete. Brazil. Brazil. I'm gonna get a Brazil flag to go right here, and it's gonna be big as hell. It's gonna go right here. So every single time you're on the pod, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna get a Amanda Lemos back there too. So, you know what I'm saying? Word, you know what I'm saying? We got it in the work. Shout out to Conor McGregor though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Conor McGregor though.
Muito amor, Brasil.
I'm going with Priscilla. And then you said Jordan Levitt. You said Jordan Levitt. What?
Jordan Levitt? What about him?
You said he's fighting Joe Anderson Brito. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think Joe Anderson Brito is gonna win that fight for sure. Definitely winning that fight. My dog snuck up on me.
I got y'all. Don't worry. I'm going with Joe Anderson Brito. I love Pete, and he ain't gonna understand, but I love him. He ain't gonna understand. He ain't gonna understand, but it's all good though. As long as he know, you know what I'm saying? As long as he know.
Shout out Doug.
Oh, my mama though. Shout out Doug, but he a real one. He a real one.
You know what we need to do? Doug versus Victor.
I'm sorry, bro. This shit not even that funny.
Now I was talking to Andrea about it.
Yeah. About what?
Doug, you know Victor, the pug?
Oh, the doggy.
Yeah.
Doggy.
Doug versus Victor.
Doug versus Victor. Who's Doug? Doug is the owner?
My dog.
Oh, I got Doug by TKO.
He just barged into my room.
I'm about to say Doug big as hell. Oh, I'm so fucking stupid. You said your dog, I'm so fucking stupid, y'all.
Look it.
He said my dog just snuck up on God though. Look at the beautiful dog.
That's what I was saying.
Tell Doug I said, what's up, Doug? You say, yeah, you can't see nobody. Don't turn your head like that.
Come here, buddy.
You gonna turn your head like that, Doug? You gonna act like you don't see me over here on family, Doug?
Look at.
Yeah. See why he not trying to look? What's up, Doug?
Come on.
Yeah.
He's too
I love
scared.
you,
Come on.
God. I love you, though, Doug.
No, he's camera shy.
I'm about to say Doug. I'm about to say Doug over there hiding. You showing him the camera, Doug, looking like this.
Come on.
Like, yeah, Doug.
Look at. Doug.
Doug, what you scared of, Doug? Don't be scared. Hey, if you scared, go to church, Doug. I ain't even gonna play with you. You know what I'm saying? But not much love, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
much love to the dog. We know we gotta get the dog on the pod. Dude. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, but nah, I think Brito is gonna win that fight for sure.
Facts. Me too. I'm
I don't know. I mean, Jordan Levitt looked good in his last fight because he's got grappling. Watch out, buddy.
He looked a little too good, though, Pete. That's my thing. He looked a little too good against Yadir Del Valle. I think he looked so good that I think that Yadir Del Valle needs to hit the factory reset button. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially it was weird because that was his first fight after that one fight with what's his name, Isaac Bulgarian. And
then they got you as the minus 500 favorite. Come on, fam, we got to do better. But my thing is,
it was minus 500 against Jordan Levitt.
Minus 500, fam.
It's crazy. I get why people bet on MMA.
Facts.
Betting lines be wild. Whoever sprinkled fucking just a little bit of money on Jordan Levitt probably made bank.
Yeah, you could have put 50 on him. He was like the plus 300 underdog. Like if you just
him at the end of the fight.
If you just got like a little bit of bread in your pocket and you just trying to go gamble, you're finna take the other dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like just off of looking at the odds, you like.
That's why I would say, if you're out there, might as well throw like $10-20 on Edmund Shabazian TKO. I don't know what the Kalshi odds are.
One thing I will say is when Pete talks, y'all need to listen. I said that like on like our first couple pods. When he talk, you need to listen because he be going crazy with the picks. And then he's top 25 in the world. 13 out of what? 13 out of 15? 12 out of 14? Like, come on, y'all. 2 picks missed. Who was the fighters again? Let them know. Let them know who you missed. You missed.
Shit. I only missed one because of Ming Yang, but the other one I picked Sumadarji.
Right, that was it.
And that was looking like a really good pick, wasn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah, Sumadarji. So,
did you see that fight?
So technically, yeah, I did see the fight. It was a no contest. And I seen that Alex Perez was at McDonald's after that fight.
Was he?
Did you see that?
But did you see that Sumadarji dropped him? He almost finished him too, and he was winning. Yeah. The first round was that close.
That was crazy. That was a good fight. I ain't gonna lie. Sumadarji's so nice. He got some good ass striking. That striking is elite. I can't motherfucking lie. That striking is motherfucking elite. But yeah, I gotta go with Joe Anderson Brito. But did you want to do the Catlin fight first, or you want to do the Chavez fight first? Shit. I'm going with Joe Anderson Brito though. I think he'll get that one done. But if he does lose, Jordan Levitt is just he's a demon at 145. We just got to give him his respect.
That's a great win. It is.
Next pod, we gonna make sure we give that respect to Jordan Levitt if he does get the win. We'll make sure that's the first thing we talk about with the 2 special guests. I want to say I almost slipped up and said both of their names, but the 2 special guests that's coming on.
Yeah, so right now Kalshi has the odds at 63% for Brito to win.
That's crazy. Do you fuck with Polymarket or not?
I don't have it right now, but I'm sure I probably would.
I need to just get it just to look at the odds. I don't need to use it. I just want to see what the fuck they be on Polymarket.
Kalshi has Faraz Ziam at 72%.
Wow.
Bryce Mitchell 52-48 against Santiago Luna. Ewo's at a 79%.
Is he the highest?
Yeah. No. Alessandro Costa's 80%.
Jesus. I mean, he's gonna win that. He's gonna win that 1,000%.
I don't know why I can't find the odds for Shabazian versus Brandon Allen for some reason.
It's probably going all over the place.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we can do the Carnelossi fight versus Caitlin Souza?
Absolutely, my brother. We got Caitlin Souza, the GOAT. I ain't gonna lie, Caitlin Souza, the GOAT. And I just said it on my post. If you don't love Caitlin Souza, then you don't love MMA. Pete, is that facts?
Facts. Yeah, no, she has one of the. She did the Alexa Grasso before the Alexa Grasso, and it was at UFC Nocha, if you remember, when she knocked her down, hit the rear naked choke in like 5 seconds. I think that was against Yasmin too, wasn't it?
Yasmin.
I'm forgetting her last name, but Yasmin, she's a Mexican fighter. Yasmin.
I know you're talking about. I don't know how to say her last name though.
Yeah, I can't either. It's like something with the J.
But yeah, it's Yasmin Ober. I know how to say it though. I fuck with you, Jasmine. You my dog. But yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy fight. Always explosive. Always looking for the finish. Always in crazy fights.
Yasmin Yarrigu.
Yeah,
I don't know how you say that. But
I'm cooked on that last name. But
the one thing though that's kind of interesting is it is a rematch from 2019, and Carnelossi got her with a body kick in the third round.
She sure did.
So, but that was a long time ago.
What year was that? If you know, what was the year?
Huh?
I said, what was the year?
It was 2019.
2019.
So that was a while.
That was half a decade ago. I think
that was a while ago. They both differed and evolved.
I think Caitlin is a dog now. Like, I think she's just an absolute animal, just ready to just prove so much, because a lot of people missed the card last week. A lot of people missed it. So a lot of people are just so hungry to just watch UFC, and a lot of people are going to be watching Caitlin Souza. You know what I'm saying? And she knows that. So she's definitely going to want to put on a performance in that beautiful Meta Apex. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to Caitlin Souza. If you don't love Caitlin Souza, then you don't love MMA, and that's a fact. Like, do not consider yourself an MMA fan if you don't love Caitlin Souza, especially after what she did in her last fight. I can really just talk about that. Like, if you don't like that as an MMA fan, then you just don't love MMA. You don't even have to like her. That moment that she did, you know what I'm saying? You gotta respect that moment. That moment was crazy. But to break down that fight between Caitlin Souza and Ariana, I gotta go with Caitlin. I feel like Caitlin, she's a completely rejuvenated fighter. She's hungry. She's ready. She has a lot to prove. And not only does she have a lot to prove, she wants to prove herself. You know what I'm saying? That's why she took this fight. And she wants to fight. She wants to be the first fight. She wants to get in there. She wants to get her bread, and she wants to get out. Shout out to Caitlin Souza. She is a legend. And she will get the dub tonight. So yeah, shout out to Caitlin Souza. But all that being said, and I think she'll either win by. I think she'll get either her TKO back, because she's more of a TKO person than she is a submission person. But she did get that submission last fight. I either think she gets her TKO back or unanimous decision. That's what I'm thinking. And her last fight against Bruno Brazil was a really good fight, and nobody talks about it. That fight against Bruno Brazil was a very good fight. It was a really, really good fight. I liked it. Me personally, I liked it. You can go back and watch it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad prediction. I mean, Carnelossi's only 3-3 in the UFC, which is not bad, but I was looking at it. I think she's hasn't been the most active. She lost her last fight to, shout out the GOAT, Talita Alencar. So that was her last fight. She lost to Talita. So, you know, she lost her last fight. Caitlin won her last fight. So, like you mentioned, solid performance against Bruna Brazil. Very solid, but, you know, she's got, I believe, 8 knockouts on her resume. So I do think you're right. I think it's prime for her to go back out there, get her TKO win back, maybe even a knockout cold. It's a smaller cage too. I think that favors her. Carnelossi's solid too. She's a really good striker, but Caitlin hits fucking hard too, especially for her weight class. And I think she's more well-rounded, you know. She could use her striking to get in on a takedown and then, you know, do whatever she wants from there. But I just think, you know, there's, you know, she did finish her 2019, like I said, but it was almost, 7 years ago? And they both evolved a lot. And I think that You know, Ketlin Souza has evolved a lot more personally. I think she's ready to take the next step and keep moving up the rankings. 2-fight win streak.
2-fight win streak indeed. Shout out to Ketlin Sosa. She's not one to be played with. She does not get submissions, but if you look at her last fight, you think she's the best submission artist of all time. That's how good she is at fighting, y'all. That's crazy. But moving on, Jalessa Chavez taking on none other than, I'm gonna butcher her name, but her name is Yansley Dubin. I can say that last name though, Mrs. Dubin. So we got Jalessa Chavez taking on Yansley Dubin. Me personally, Pete, I gotta go with Jalessa Chavez. 7-0. No one has been able to solve the puzzle just yet. You know what I'm saying? Or ever. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? It's only one way to find out. Her Dana White Contender Series fight, it was extremely dangerous. Very, very, very bloody. One of the craziest women's fights you will ever see. One of the craziest Dana White Contender Series fights in Dana White Contender Series fights history. And there's been like 9 seasons, plenty of legendary fighters. That fight is one of those fights that sticks out. You know what I'm saying? It's up there with that Sugar Sean O'Malley performance. It's up there with that what's that one Dana White Contender? That Kadini Killer Silva performance. No, the odds was against Kadini Killer Silva. She submitted one of the best prospects in the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to say her name. Her name is Yan Kuecheda. She's a Chinese fighter. She's like 29-7. Insane. It was like the minus 500, 600 underdog against Kadini Killer Silva. And Kadini Killer Silva locked up the choke in the second round, which is insane. Like, that's really, really insane. Like, that's insane. Kadini Silva's doing some big things in the UFC. And not to mention, Kadini Killer Silva does have a win over Ketlin Sosa, the one that we was talking about. But shout out to both, though. Both phenomenal fighters. Both beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
You know,
beautiful.
A fun fact for the team.
Talk to me.
You know who Carnelosi's first ever MMA loss was?
Talitha, the problem child. Damn. Ooh.
The real goat of Brazil.
Ooh. Amanda Lemos. Amanda Ribas. You see, look, so let me tell you about Amanda Ribas.
You want to know another thing about her real quick? Another fun fact? She has a win over Vina Janjidova and Mackenzie Dern.
Who?
Amanda Ribas.
Oh, I thought you was talking about Carlos. I'm like, damn. Goddamn,
Amanda Ribas beat Mackenzie Dern and Vina Janjidova.
She sure did. No, she literally did. Like, Vernagenda Roba doesn't even lose. So, like, beating Vernagenda Roba, you some serious. You the shit. You know what I'm saying? You the shit. I ain't gonna lie, I fuck with Amanda Ribas. That edit that Combat Brazil made, that is the most fire edit I've ever seen in my entire life. I love that shit so much. I love how the beginning started when Joe Martinez be snapping. You know what I'm saying? That's why I be saying better than Bruce Buffer, y'all. The way he just said Amanda Ribas' name, waste not. I love that. I love that. I wish I could just steal that. You heard me? I wish I could just steal that. But yeah, that was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That was beautiful. Shout out to my brother. Yeah, they don't know. My brother, Combat Clip Brazil. That is my brother. But with all of that being said, I got to go with Jalessa Chavez. I think she will get the job done. She had a crazy fight in her Dana White Contender Series fight. And I think she's going to look to carry that momentum over into her UFC debut. Also, we also got Durbin, who's in the same similar situation. That's what makes this fight so crazy. But I think what makes Chavez stand out is the striking. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they both have good striking, but I think Chavez is the more dirty striker. She showed it in her Contender Series fight. I'm going to get dirty and I'm still going to strike. You can beat my ass and I'm still going to stand right here and strike with you until that last buzzer goes off or the ref stops us. That's just the type of fighter she is. So much respect to Jalessa Chavez, and I think that she will get the dub. And that is all of the picks. But Pete, you gotta give me your pick for that fight. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I haven't made that pick yet, to be honest, but I do tend to lean towards Gisela, or I think, I'm not positive how you say it, Gisela Chavez, but what's her name? Let me look up her name. I'm forgetting her name and her opponent's last name, Dubin. She had a crazy knockout too on the Contender Series. I don't know if you remember that, but it's like one of the craziest knockouts ever. But then she got knocked out in her last fight against Judice by head kick. So I do think that Chavez is, favored. She's 6-0 too, right? If I'm not mistaken. So I think she'll go out and win this fight. Yeah, keep moving up the rankings slowly but surely. But yeah, I think she'll kick off the card with a win. Probably unanimous decision.
Agreed.
Huh?
I gotta give a big shout out to somebody if you don't mind.
Who?
You funny, bro.
You gotta give a shout out to who?
I gotta give a big shout out to somebody if you don't mind.
Yeah?
I got a special shout out to somebody. He goes by the name of CPETMMA248. I just wanted to give him a huge shout out on this platform right here. He's a phenomenal person. I feel like y'all should go DM him, reach out to him, build a connection with him. I feel like joining this MMA community about, let's say, 9 to 10 months ago, I didn't really have any friends. I'll say like my first friend was like AJ MMA, so shout out to AJ MMA, and my brother 209. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna butcher your name, but I love you, Monkey. Is your name Monkey 209, boy? What is your name, boy? What is your name, boy?
Jose.
What is your name, boy? It's like I'm playing.
Jose Mora.
Yeah, I'm just being funny. Yeah, shout out to my brother Jose. I'm about to say, I'm just being funny. Shout out to my brother Jose. I love you. My brother 209, I collab on all of his posts. If you go look at his page, you're going to see my name. You know what I'm saying? Because that is my brother. That I built one of the craziest connections I've ever could possibly build in the MMA space. I just love collabing with people. Like, I like what MMA Soup's Preview does. He does a very good job. He just accepts all the collabs. I like that. Because it shouldn't matter what you have on your page. If y'all are friends, like me and CP are, I don't care what CP posts. Like CP, I started collecting cards. If y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all know that. I started collecting cards, and I wanted to document my entire journey, and I'm still documenting my entire journey. Episode 3 is coming very soon. I just want to let y'all know that. Yes, I still post cards on my stories like all the time, but I've only had 2 episodes posted right now on my Instagram, and CP collabed with me on the first episode, and I love him so much for doing that. And he is the best. Like, CP doesn't realize by collabing me with that post, it brought me like a bunch of people who collect cards was DMing me, and I just talked to so many people about cards. So just shout out to so many people, and shout out to Lethal, and shout out to my dog. But they say you know my dog, but I gotta say shout out to my dog, MMA Bet IQ. You know who that is, right? That's my brother. MMA Bet IQ. You know who that is for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to give a big shout out to you, Pete. But you the GOAT, fam. You done so much for me. I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, y'all. That is fucking insane. And like, we're just growing and growing. It's
Pada bands, so man, Pada bands.
Yes, my brother forever. This is my brother forever. You looking at him right now.
Pada bands.
You looking at him right now. This is my brother. You know what I'm saying? My mother birthed him. The facts. Like, this is my blood brother right here, y'all. Like, this is really my brother in real life. I love CP like he was my blood brother. So yeah, that's a fact. But now that I gave CP his shout out because I love my brother, I also love other people too. So shout out to Amanda Lemos. Shout out to Karini Killer Silva. Shout out to Melissa Gatto. Shout out to Talita Alencar. And shout out to Ketlin the Phenom Fieta. And what's crazy about my card collection, I just wanted to say that since we already right here. I know I've been talking a lot, Pete. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get there. But I have a personal connection with every single fighter that I have framed, and I feel like that's what makes my connection unique. I tag them in stories. They reply to the stories. They like the messages. It's just all genuine love. And if y'all are watching this, I love y'all like way too much. And I'm so sorry that I bother y'all so much. I'm fucking DMing you and tagging y'all in stories all fucking week. Y'all, I know y'all are just so fucking tired of this shit. But like y'all don't understand. Like I love y'all so much. Like when y'all like the story, like it just makes me so happy. Like it reminds me on why I have y'all framed. But y'all are the best. But yeah, let me give y'all shout outs. Shout out to Amanda Lemos, Karini Killer Silva, Talita Alencar, Karini. Just said it. Ketlin Fiera, Melissa Gatto, Marlon Chito Vera, Eamon Zahabi, Markel Marderos, AJ MMA, MMA Butter, CP MMA, the King himself. Let me put the crown on you real quick. But yeah, that's all my shout outs. I love you, Pete. You the GOAT. Like, I love you forever. Like forever.
Amen. Amen. Muito obrigado, meu irmão. But I'll keep my shout out short and simple. Shout out you, the homie. Couldn't do it without you, bro. Much respect, and always, gonna be a good night of fights, and muito parabéns on 1,000 followers. That's awesome, crazy growth, and shout out to my other personal GOAT, Andrea. Don't sleep on our pick. That's all I'm saying. Don't sleep on our pick. When great minds think alike, they make great picks, and amen. But nah, that's my GOAT for real. Shout out Andrea, most sweetest, and yeah, my favorite personal in this space. Besides you, of course, both of you. There's no competition, But hey, much love in different ways, of course. But much love always, and to everyone. Of course, shout out AJ, my brother. Me and him stay locked in. Me and you stay locked in. MMA Butter, smooth as butter, Shout out my boy, fucking Chris, Mr. Chris, what's his name? Chris Taco Padilla. Shout out Markel Maderos, UFC Pap, the big boy, big dog in the house. Fucking everyone, bro. Even the boy Moke T Fold 209, higher _ MMA, Bruise News TV. But you
shout
see
out
the
to Patterson Vieira. We can never forget it. That's the GOAT. I love Patterson Vieira. I can't wait to come to Brazil to train with you.
And the biggest shout out of all goes to
Amanda.
Alex Poeta Pereira.
And Amanda Hebos.
As we enter Poetan Luta Semana.
Facts.
Poetan Luta Semana.
Poetan Fight Week. Amanda Lemos fighting Denise Gomez August 8th in the Apex. Don't miss it. That is going to be a banger because look at what they're trying to do. I know the pod's over. Amanda Lemos, Denise Gomez. Winner can possibly be fighting for the title next. Because from what I know, because from what I'm seeing, Pete,
nah, that ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna shut that talk down. That's not gonna happen.
I'm not gonna explain it, but
I'll bet you my life savings that will not happen. But we'll keep the shine on the Brazilians that are really in big fights right now. Poetan, Diego, and Mauricio. They're in the biggest fights right now. Next week, they're putting Brazil on the biggest stage at the White House, bro.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Alex is already an American. Diego, already an American if he wants to be. Mauricio, American if he wants to be. But, I mean, that's a good fight, but Amanda versus Denise is not a #1 contenders fight.
No, don't listen.
Ever.
Okay, I understand. I'm not trying to make this no spiral.
I'll close it off with
Juliana's fighting for a title, so that means the fight between Amanda Lemos that we watched, because we both watched.
It won't happen. I'll just say that. It won't happen.
So Juliana Roberts is not fighting for a title, that's what you're saying?
I'm not talking about Jillian Robertson. I'm talking about Amanda Lemos and Denise Gomes is not a #1 contender fight. It's a good fight. Respect to both women. May the best one win.
Denise Gomez
But
is 2 steps
they're
away.
both
She's 2 steps away.
realistically
She
2 to
a
3
knockout
fights
away.
away
No,
from even
Denise
thinking about a
Gomez is
title shot.
Denise Gomez is a knockout away from a title, fam. But you gotta go. She know you don't watch women's MMA like I do, fam. She's a knockout away from a title. I swear to God. You can go look at her.
Calm down.
I love you.
It's not gonna happen, okay? It's not a #1 contender fight.
He said, "Calm down." I love you.
I know you like your Krispy Kreme glaze, but it ain't gonna happen. But shout out everyone.
What that supposed to mean?
Boa noite, meus irmãos e
Hey, what that
irmãs,
supposed to be,
minha família.
Hey, what that supposed to be? I love you.